Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out another FPV camera. This is from Caddx. This is called the Turbo EOS1. Small little micro camera here. It's smaller than your other typical like RunCam Micro Swift, Fox or Aero Micro. Obviously there's no mounting here like on those with the 19 by 19 size board, and there's no holes here on the sides. So this is actually going to be similar in size to the RunCam Nano, which I have here. And see the board size is a 14 by 14 size here. And the EOS1 was made to compete with the RunCam Nano, and the image quality is actually much better than the RunCam. It's got a similar lens here. You can see here. The sensor is also much bigger. I think the RunCam Nano has a 600 TV line sensor. I believe they're both 1/3 inch CMOS sensors, and the new Caddx EOS1 here has a 1200 TV line sensor. It comes in PAL versions, NTSC versions. You can get it in a 16:9 and also 4:3. This is very similar to the image quality of their other camera, the Caddx Turbo Micro F1. And if you want to see that video, put a card in the corner to that video. I did that review a few months ago. I think basically what they did is they took the Micro F1 sensor, it's also a 1200 TV line sensor, and they shrunk it down into this 14 by 14 size board. And basically I can't really tell the image quality difference. It looks very similar to the F1. So if you like the image quality of the F1, you'll like this. And this is probably going to be more useful for, say, something like a tiny whoop or some sort of brushless whoop, where you want pretty high quality image quality on something really tiny and small, because this doesn't weigh a whole lot. Let me just get a weight measurement here. Okay, so it comes in at about 3.8 grams with a little connector here, but I think in a lot of applications you're probably going to cut these wires short and probably reduce the weight down to 3.5 grams. Now with it being, really super tiny like this and virtually no weight, as you can see here, there's no connector here for an OSD joystick. There's no way for here to change your settings. So for example, like on the Micro F1, you could connect up an OSD controller and you could switch it from NTSC and PAL, although I believe that the 4.3 and 16.9 versions were separate. Those are the kind of things you can change via software. I think on a lot of CMOS sensors you can do that from NTSC and PAL. That's a pretty normal thing, but because there's no ability to change your settings on this one, you pretty much have to choose if you want NTSC or PAL out of the box when you actually order it. And in my particular case, I'm going to show you the 16.9 version that's also NTSC. So there's basically 4 different versions of this camera, and you want to make sure you choose the correct one when you go and order it. A couple other things to note about the camera: it has a pretty wide voltage range. So I think the RunCam Nano was only up to like 5.5 volts. This one, you could plug it in up to 9 volts and it won't fry the camera. So if you, for whatever reason, you have this on like something that's like a 2S micro, for example, you could plug that in directly into LiPo voltage and you won't fry the camera. So that could be pretty good if your regulator on your flight controller isn't big enough to support this camera and, say, a video transmitter. If you're having brownout issues, then you could just connect this directly to your LiPo voltage, and you'll be fine with this particular camera, which is nice. Anyway, I'll go ahead and I'll show you some flight demo footage. I might be putting this into something else down the road, maybe like a tiny whoop, brushless tiny whoop, something like that, or maybe some other small micro. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any suggestions on what would be a good application for something like this, of this size. Obviously, a lot of the micros are going to be bigger and have the frames to fit the 19 by 19 size, but I don't have a whole lot of things that'll fit this particular size, and or the mounting options might be kind of limited. I know that there's some like 3D printed mount options on Thingiverse that are for the RunCam Nano that will definitely fit this as well. But yeah, if you have ideas on mounting this on various craft, interesting hearing that, because I think it's a pretty useful camera. The image quality I think is really nice, and it definitely could be used in a lot of interesting places. Me personally, I'm thinking of some sort of a tiny whoop, maybe brushed or brushless, I'm not sure. Something that can carry this little extra weight. It's about 4 grams, a little bit heavier than your typical micro camera, but the image quality is going to be so much better than your typical all-in-one camera that's out there. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. But if I'm also looking for suggestions from you guys. If you think you have any ideas on where to put this, I'm definitely willing to listen to those, and maybe I'll make that happen in a future video.